Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Wednesday, November 16th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So first of all, I want to start off by saying it's been a couple days since I made a video. Got a couple different things that have been going on recently. Tried to put out some core picks on Monday. Unfortunately, I was not able to kind of update those throughout the day, just with everything else going on yesterday. I kind of had to focus on a few other things and get caught up on some NFL stuff. So this is really the first video for this week. So I do apologize for that if anybody missed out. If you have any questions regarding any NBA DFS stuff, you can always reach out to me on the comments of a previous video or on Twitter at CoachCraigSports. I'm definitely willing to help you guys as much as I can. Just had a couple other things that were going on that I had to take care of, but definitely back for today's slate as a 10-game main slate overall. We're going to be talking some injuries. We're going to be talking some core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. So without further ado, we'll get right into the injuries for today's slate overall. So it is a slate that is starting right at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We got 3 games tipping off right away. So the Minnesota Timberwolves all the way healthy at this point in time. The Orlando Magic, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Wagner are all out once again. Wendell Carter is dealing with a bit of a foot injury. He is questionable to play tonight. If he doesn't play, assume that Mo Bamba is probably going to get in that starting lineup. Or they shift Bobo down. They shift Chuma Okeke down a spot, and then maybe Terrence Ross starts in that case. It also depends a lot if Paolo Banchero plays tonight or not, and he's missed the past 3 games. So it's kind of up in the air. They said he did not practice yesterday, so I'm assuming that he does not play once again tonight. Maybe some value that opens up on this Magic team if Wendell Carter Jr. and Paolo Banchero both end up missing tonight, though. Then for the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are without Darius Bazley and Trey Mann once again. Could be a little bit of value here. Obviously, Povashevsky had the big game last time out. We'll see if he starts or if it's Jerome Robinson-Earl, kind of how they use this lineup overall. But mainly, the guys you're looking at are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey once again, mixing a little bit of Lou Dort here and there as well. And then for the Washington Wizards, DeLon Wright's out once again. Sounds like Bradley Beal will be back tonight. The value that was kind of there for this Wizards team's not really there. Bradley Beal, if you want to go there, you could do it, but how many minutes is he going to play tonight overall? And then we move over to the Pacers, who are without Chris Duarte and Daniel Tice once again. Tyrese Haliburton is questionable to play. I believe he's dealing with an ankle injury. If he's not able to go, whoever ends up starting in his place is going to be pretty good value. I assume it would be TJ McConnell, but they could shift Nembhard over to point guard, start somebody else at kind of that shooting guard or small forward spot, and then kind of go from there. A lot of different options they could do, but TJ McConnell has been a pretty good fantasy point per minute producer when given extended run in the past. Then we move over to the Charlotte Hornets, who are without Gordon Hayward and Cody Martin once again. Dennis Smith Jr. is doubtful to play, so pretty similar to what we've seen in recent games for them overall. Moving down to the Celtics, who are without Robert Williams and Danilo Gallinari once again, so no changes in that regard. We have Brogdon listed as questionable to play. He's missed the past couple games with, I believe, a hamstring injury, and now Marcus Smart listed as a game-time decision, but expected to play tonight, dealing with a little bit of ankle soreness overall. Would not be surprised if he ends up missing. That could open up some value on the Celtics team overall. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, just Bogdan Bogdanovic out once again, so no real changes there. For the Miami Heat, they're without Udonis Haslem. He's dealing with some personal stuff. Tyler Hero's out once again. Victor Oladipo and Omer Yurtseven are still out as well. Then we have Bam Adebayo listed as questionable play, just dealing with a knee contusion. Should be good to go tonight. And then Dwayne Dedmon dealing with a little bit of plantar fasciitis, it sounds like. He is also questionable to play. We'll see if he plays tonight or not in that backup center run. Obviously, would matter a little bit more if Bam Adebayo missed, but I do assume that Bam plays tonight. Then for the Toronto Raptors, they're without Precious Achiuwa, Otto Porter Jr., and Pascal Siakam tonight. So Achiuwa and Siakam have been out for a little while. Otto Porter Jr. could open up some minutes for guys like Thaddeus Young, a couple other guys off the bench here and there if need be. And then Gary Trent and Fred VanVleet both questionable to play. Trent is dealing with a hip issue. I assume that he's out tonight. And then Fred VanVleet dealing with some illness. I assume that he probably does end up playing tonight. For the Chicago Bulls, they're without Lonzo Ball once again. Kobe White still listed as doubtful to play, so unlikely he plays once again. For the Pelicans, EJ Liddell is out tonight. And then we have Zion Williamson listed as a game-time decision. They did play last night. We'll see if we get an update on this later in the day. But I'm going to assume that he's questionable once again with his foot injury. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. Then for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dylan Windler, Ricky Rubio, and Jared Allen are all out tonight. Dean Wade is listed as doubtful to play. And then we have Donovan Mitchell listed as questionable. If Donovan Mitchell doesn't play, Darius Garland's going to look pretty good. Evan Mobley, Kevin Love, they're all going to look pretty good. Karis LeVert might even get a bump as well. Probably see Isaac Okoro or Cedi Osman in that starting lineup overall, especially with Dean Wade unlikely to play tonight. And then Going to open up some minutes for guys like Evan Mobley and Kevin Love, especially at that center position. You might see a little bit of Robert Lopez as well. Kevin Love is going to look really good on FanDuel. Evan Mobley's kind of fairly priced on both sites and could have some upside tonight overall. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they are without Chris Middleton, Wesley Matthews, Joe Ingles, and then Grayson Allen also listed as doubtful to play. So Wesley Matthews is a new one there for being out. Grayson Allen dealing with his ankle now is doubtful. Then we have Drew Holiday coming back from his ankle. Maybe plays tonight, maybe doesn't. Pat Connaughton has not played yet this season, but he's listed as questionable to play with his calf injury. Could be a lot of guys out for this Bucks team overall once again tonight. Obviously, Giannis is going to look pretty good. Brook Lopez is going to look pretty good. Bobby Portis off the bench. We'll see maybe if they go to that bigger lineup overall. Javon Carter could look good if Drew Holiday's out once again, but obviously his price has been rising. And then Marshawn Beauchamp, he's been, getting some minutes, and if he is a viable option, if he's in that starting lineup, if he gets 30 minutes again, he definitely could pay off as well. Then we move down to the Houston Rockets. Jayshawn Tate's out once again. Bruno Fernandez is listed as questionable to play. It sounds like they ran him through a lot of tests in practice yesterday, I believe. It sounds like he could play, but there is also a chance that they want to make sure that he's really good to go by the time he is playing. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's out once again tonight. For the Dallas Mavericks, we got Davis Bertans and JaVale McGee both out once again tonight. And then we have Maxi Kleber listed as a game time decision. He was dealing with some back soreness the last time out, so we'll just have to see an update on that throughout the day. For the New York Knicks, they're without Mitchell Robinson once again. We've seen Isaiah Hartenstein start some games. We've seen Jericho Sims start some games. Probably just going to depend on that Denver starting lineup, which is going to be interesting tonight with no Nikola Jokic. So that's the opposite side of the game. Obviously, there is no Nikola Jokic tonight. He's in health and safety protocol. Colin Gillespie is still out. Ish Smith is doubtful. Bones Highland is doubtful. And then we have Aaron Gordon listed as questionable to play, deal with his own illness, I do believe, and it's supposedly not COVID-related, unlike the rest of the guys on the team. So that should be an interesting one to look out for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and DeAndre Jordan are all going to look very good tonight. Then we move over to the Golden State Warriors, who are without Andre Iguodala once again. Patrick Baldwin Jr. is listed as questionable to play. Doesn't make too big a difference for DFS overall tonight. And then for the Phoenix Suns, we got Landry Shamet, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder all listed as out once again tonight. And then Chris Paul listed as questionable, dealing with that heel injury. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries and play for tonight's games. Obviously, there's going to be a good chunk of injuries we're watching throughout the day, and I'll try to update those down in the comments as much as possible. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks for tonight. At the point guard position, I'm going with TJ McConnell. He's $3,400. We're looking for 17 points out. I'm currently got him projected for about 21, 22 points tonight. Obviously, if he gets big minutes in this game, 28 minutes or more, he's going to pay off in a big way tonight. If he's in that starting lineup, he's going to look pretty good. But obviously, a lot relies on whether Tyrese Haliburton plays tonight or not. So this is one that could change greatly throughout the day. Then at shooting guard, we have Jalen Green. He's $6,400. We're looking for 32 fantasy points out. He's averaging 34 in the season. He's been playing extremely, extremely well as of late. And I believe it's the last 3 or 4 games he's had 6 assists as well as scoring the ball. So he's doing a little bit more and really paying off. And this price tag is just way too cheap at this point in time. So definitely a lot of upside there. Got him projected for 36 tonight, but has an upside for a lot more as well. Then we move down to small forward with Cam Reddish at $3,600. We're looking for 18 points out. He's averaging 15.5 so far in the season. He's been in the lineup and starting in more recent games. He's been getting an extended run. He's been playing better. So at $3,600, a great value there. Have him currently projected for 21 points tonight, but definitely could have some upside for more as well. Then at power forward, this is kind of the spot I struggle with the most on DraftKings today for the core. I like Lou Dort. I like Kevin Love, and I like Evan Mobley. Kevin Love and Evan Mobley are probably a little bit more closely priced, but they do offer a little bit more ceiling than a guy like Lou Dort. So if you want to play one of those two, I definitely could do that as well. But I went with Lou Dort, probably the safer option, safer minutes. We kind of know what we're going to get out of him overall. He's $5,000. We're looking for 25 points out. He's averaging 26.5 so far on the season. And currently tonight, I have him projected for about 27, 28 points tonight. Pretty safe play overall, but if you want to go for somebody with a little bit more upside, whether it's one of those two guys, whether it's a PJ Washington, you can definitely do that as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, we have DeAndre Jordan, $3,300, looking for 16, 17 points out tonight. He's averaging 13.5 essentially on the season. There's no Nikola Jokic tonight. He's going to play bigger minutes. Not sure exactly what his limits cap is, whether it's 26, 28, 30, who knows at this point, because DeAndre Jordan is 34 years old. but they don't have much other options available in terms of center. Like, are you going to throw Jeff Green in there at small ball center? Are you going to throw Zeke Najee, who's not the biggest either? There's not that many options, but I do expect him to play, 26 to 28 minutes tonight, get us about 21, maybe 22 points on DraftKings tonight. And at that price tag is a very good value overall, almost 7 times value. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here for tonight, you have $28,300 remaining, just over $9,400 per player. So definitely some room and some flexibility, whether you want to pay up for 2 superstar studs like a Luka Doncic and a Giannis Antetokounmpo, you could definitely do that and then pay down for a third option. Or if you want to do a little bit more balanced build where you're picking some guys that are $9,400 or your Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world, maybe you go to DeJounte Murray and somebody else to pair with them, that's definitely something you can do as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there. So on FanDuel, we're going to go with point guard Jamal Murray, $6,400. Looking for 32 fantasy points. He's averaging just under 28 so far in the season. Obviously, there is no Nikola Jokic tonight. He's going to look a lot better because he's going to have a little bit more usage. He's going to get a little bit more assists. He's going to have more opportunities with the ball in his hand overall. Got him projected for 35 points tonight. Some other sites have him projected for a little bit more, so there is some upside there. There's some ceiling there since we've seen that in the most recent game as well. And then at shooting guard, we have Cam Reddish, $3,500 flat minimum on FanDuel. So talked a little bit about him on DraftKings. He's been in that starting lineup. He's been playing better as of late. He's been getting the minutes. If he plays well and he gets the minutes once again, he's going to blow this price tag out of the water because we're only looking for 17, 18 points. Currently got him projected for, about 21 points tonight, but definitely has some upside for more as we've seen in recent games as well. Then we move down to small forward with Jaylen Brown, $8,200, looking for 41 points. He's averaging just under 40 so far in the season. Goes against the Atlanta Hawks. It's a team that he typically plays rather well against as well. He's been playing extremely well as of late, and don't expect that to change once again today. Jaylen Brown, 42 points minimum tonight, and definitely looking like a strong play on the FanDuel side overall. Then speaking of our strong plays on FanDuel, we have Kevin Love at $4,900, looking for 24, 25 points out of him tonight. That's what he's averaging so far on the season. There is no Jarrett Allen in this game. Kevin Love probably starts this game. Cleveland's weird sometimes, and sometimes they won't start him, but with no Dean Wade, that takes that one option as well. So unless they're starting Evan Mobley and Robin Lopez like at center or something like that, he's probably going to end up starting tonight. Even if he doesn't end up starting, probably plays 28 minutes off the bench, and he's a great fantasy point per minute producer. So currently I'm projecting for 28, 29 points tonight. Definitely could blow that out of the water as well. Then last but not least, we have DeAndre Jordan at $4,000. We're looking for 20 points out. I'm currently got him projected for 21 and 22 tonight. Obviously going to be that starting center once again without Nikola Jokic there on the COVID list. And DeAndre Jordan, 26 to 28 minutes tonight. Definitely could have some upside for more, but currently have him at 21 to 22 fantasy point projection on FanDuel tonight overall. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $33,000 remaining, just over $8,200 per player. So definitely some room and some flexibility if you want to pay up for some studs tonight, or if you want to take a little bit more balanced build overall as well. Quite a few options out there. It's a 10-game slate, so don't be afraid to be a little bit creative overall on tonight's slate. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, November 16th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. Same thing for the question. If you have a more specific FanDuel or DraftKings related question, just leave that as well, so I kind of know where you're at and don't have to ask quite as many questions, so I can best help you as possible. And then, as always, I'll be listing the injury updates throughout the day. I'll try to get as many of the starting lineups out tonight as possible as well. And then if there's any updates to the core throughout the day, I'll list that about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock or as those updates do become available. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, primarily NBA and NFL DFS at this point in time. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a video. I know the schedule's been a little bit hectic as of late, but at this point in time, I have the NBA DFS Core Pick videos on the daily, Monday through Friday, unless something else major comes up. And then the live streams for the Monday night and Thursday night football games typically around 6:15 Central Time, 45 minutes prior to kickoff. Tomorrow's will probably be a little bit earlier than that just because there's a couple other things going on. So I'm going to probably have it earlier in the afternoon, probably 1, 2 o'clock Central Time. Not sure yet, but do follow me on Twitter at CoachCraigSports so you do get access to that. Or just check out with the notifications on YouTube because it'll let you know when that's available, whether you watch it live or on replay. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.